Hello YouTube, and thank you so much for tuning into my video. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this, but I thought let me just put this out there in case I change my mind. I wanted to talk about my experiences as a trans woman, obviously, with male gaze. And when I talk about male gaze, I'm basically talking about the attention that you receive from guys. It's that simple. Now, if you watched any of my other videos, you probably know how difficult my transition was and how I was ridiculed and bullied and just harassed on a day-to-day basis. I spent, I don't want to say the greater part of my transition, but uh, a huge part of my journey was spent being clocky. Before I reached the feminine threshold, I spent a big part of my transition being hella clocky. My face was brick. And I've said it in videos before, I was very comical. Now, you need a moment to just really appreciate how difficult it is for you, knowing full well that you don't pass, to step outside into society and to still try and engage and interact with people. So I was in my early 20s, trying to finish university, trying to continue working, just trying to keep my head above water. And my transition really threw me out of the loop. I lost all of my confidence. I lost all of my self-esteem, and I really had to try and build myself up. But every time that I would try to build myself up, there were people that were right there to remind me quite animatedly that I was not female, that I was this, that, and the other. There were a lot of people who had a lot of those messages, and more often than not, it kind of felt like, at least in my experience, it felt that people were rejoicing in my pain. It felt like people were happy to see me upset, and it felt like people were happy to see me struggle as much as I was. And during this time, I remember seeing my friends get into relationships, seeing my friends come in and out of relationships, seeing my friends get attention that I never ever got. And there was a part of me that obviously was happy for my friends, but it was resentful, because you sit there and you think to yourself, when is it going to be my turn? When am I going to be fucking Cinderella, and when is my prince going to come and offer me a slipper? You know what I mean? And it felt like it was never coming, and it felt like it never would come. And I'd gotten to a point early in my transition where I realized that, hey, maybe love and relationships and babies and marriage and weddings is not in the books for me. And I want to say that I was okay with that, but I really wasn't. I don't think any of us are built to be alone, personally. So I was being bullied and I was being harassed, and even at work, it was just the same damn thing. It was the same damn thing. I get my surgery and I get on hormones and my body transforms. I literally became one of the transformers. My body developed, my face got softer, and I don't like passing, I just don't like that word, but I reached what I call the feminine threshold, where people couldn't tell just from looking at me. You know what I mean? Where most people just saw me as just another girl, as another black girl. And among those people, guys started noticing me. Now, you need to understand, when I was in high school, obviously I was living as a male, and no guys would show me any attention or give me any attention. So when my friends in high school were dating, I stayed single. University, same story. When my friends were dating, I stayed single, and nobody really showed me any interest. So I went through the greater part of my life not being desired, not being wanted, and feeling like I was unwanted, to jumping into a world where suddenly guys were approaching me, guys were talking to me, and I didn't know how to handle it. Like, cisgender women have the advantage of having been socialized as girls. When cisgender women turn 12 and 13 and 14, that's when everyone is developing, and that's when their bodies change. And their counterparts, the guys in their community, are around the same age, and they're both trying to figure things out. They're both trying to figure sexuality out together. I didn't have that advantage. I only started really uh, looking female and presenting successfully as a female after my surgery, which was like 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And I was in my late 20s. So I had lived the first part of my life never receiving attention, to the second part suddenly, I don't want to say gang load of guys, but suddenly I was being pursued. And bitch, it felt good. It felt so good to finally have my turn. It felt so good to finally be the girl in the situation. It felt so good to finally have guys buy me drinks, ask me out, ask for my number, pursue me, want to kiss me, want to make out, tell me that I'm special. And it kind of almost made it feel that all of the pain that I'd gone through, it kind of made me feel like it was worth it. It felt like I'd reached the other side, and all of the pain that I went through, I was finally getting paid back for my diligence and my hard work and my persevering. But so in the early stages of me being read as female, if y'all think I dress bad now, I used to go out to work, and I didn't have anything on. Like, literally, I would wear the shortest dresses, my boobs would be all out. I literally dressed low-key like a baby prostitute, because I think at that time I was so new to my body. I was so new to my body, and I was so new to my curves, and I just wanted to celebrate my body. I got called into HR so many times for how I would dress. And I didn't give a fuck. You think I gave a fuck? I did not give a fuck. I was living my best life. I had this thing when I went into nightclubs. It was only a good night if at least 4 guys hit on me. 4 guys had to try and hit on me and buy me drinks. And then once I'd reached the 4th one, I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm having a good night. It turned into a competition. It almost turned into a game. And I remember my confidence was just, every time it would happen, it felt like, oh God, it felt like it was fucking day one. It felt like it was fucking day one. It felt like I just felt like I was winning. I felt like I was doing this thing the right way. And every time someone would clock me, I came crashing down. Now, I remember just enjoying my time, but also feeling a little embarrassed at how much I was enjoying myself. Like, I had shame in that I felt that, I had transitioned for myself. I didn't transition to meet somebody. Fuck no. I didn't do any of this to meet anyone. I didn't do any of this to get hit on. I did this because I wanted to be authentic. And suddenly I was being offered love and romance and all of these offers from all of these different guys and girls sometimes. Lesbians hit on me a lot. And I kind of felt guilty. I really kind of felt guilty. And I was ill prepared to deal with male gaze. I really was ill prepared. I didn't know how to deal with it. I put myself in dangerous situations. I allowed people to trick me because I was naive as fuck and new to all of this. But I felt so, so guilty. I would never have admitted back then to myself or to anyone else that I was enjoying it as much as I was. I just wouldn't. And I think the first year passed, the second year passed. By the time the third year hit, it was starting to get old. It really was starting to get old. I jumped from a state where I was experiencing discrimination, I was experiencing bullying, and I jumped into the wonderful world of misogyny and the wonderful world of the patriarchy, the wonderful world of sexism. And I wasn't prepared for how it would make me feel. Yes, I loved the attention, but I didn't love the fact that people were making me feel stupid. Suddenly, as I got older, as the years started to pass, being sexualized in the way that I was being sexualized suddenly started to feel very, very uncomfortable. Suddenly, it started to feel very, very uncomfortable, and I suddenly realized that not only was I putting myself in dangerous situations, but it was just kind of like, even some of these guys that were hitting on me, I was just kind of like, bruh, just shut up with that mess. I'm not out here trying to hear it. So it got old, and there was a running joke in my with my friend group, where people would be like, "Oh, every December, Christabel's dresses get longer and longer and longer." And I had this group of friends. We were all in a WhatsApp group, and my friend saw me at work, and I think I was wearing jeans and Uggs and a jacket. And I had little to no makeup on, which I generally have little to no makeup on. And my hair was in a bun. And she took a picture of me and she posted it in the group. And she's like, "Y'all, have y'all ever seen KB this dressed up?" And it was a joke because everybody knew me as, that black girl who dresses low-key like a baby prostitute. But I suddenly got to a stage where not only was the male gaze not exciting anymore, not only didn't I stop getting the thrill that I got in the early days, but it became a nuisance. Suddenly it became a nuisance when there was some dusty at the club not wanting to leave me alone. It became a nuisance when someone would buy me a drink and then stay on my ass the entire night. It became a nuisance when I would walk down the street and men would honk and lick their lips, and it became a nuisance when they would stop their cars in front of me and roll down the window. It became a nuisance when they would follow me. It became a nuisance when people would give up my number and I would get unsolicited dick pics. It became a nuisance when I realized they're not listening to me, they're sexualizing me. Look, for those of you that are starting out in this journey and you're feeling discouraged because you don't pass, don't worry, your turn is coming. You're going to get to the front of the line and these guys are going to notice you and throw all of that attention on you. When you're still in those early days, lap it up, enjoy it, take it for what it is, and live your best life. But a day will come when you feel like you don't need to dress like that anymore. A day will come when you feel like you don't need to solicit that kind of attention anymore. This really is a journey, and we're all going through it together. We really are all going through it together. Some of us who are older and have walked this road can look back fondly and laugh at the times when we were at the club and dressed all hoed up with our stripper hair. We can look back fondly and say, "Yeah, I had fun. I'll take it for what it is, and I enjoyed the male gaze at that time. But I'm older now, and I don't need to do that anymore." So my best advice is just enjoy yourself wherever you are in transition, and realize that you're beautiful wherever you are in transition. I'm at a stage right now where I try to be very understated. I try to not be in the spotlight. I want to avoid people's radar. I just want to get away from all of that because it's male gaze is fleeting. It's really, really fleeting. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. I promise you. I really, really promise you. It doesn't mean that you're any more valid in your womanhood. It really, really doesn't. So I love you. Please take care of yourself. Please enjoy this journey. Enjoy all different parts of it. You know, I remember in the early days when I was clocky, I low-key kind of liked the fact that I was this rebel. I would wear all of these like quirky clothes. I was at my thinnest. I would wear these quirky clothes and these weird colors, and yeah, everyone could tell. Um, but I just liked that I was a rebel. And then when I started passing in the early days, when I started passing in the early days, being, I liked being hoed up and it was fun and I enjoyed the attention until I didn't, until it got old. And now I'm at a stage where I've really relaxed. I've really calmed down. So wherever you are in this journey, just remember you're beautiful. You are where you need to be. And I love you. I support you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And just thank you for your support and just for listening. I love you all. Stay beautiful. Remember, you are valuable. And remember, your turn is going to come. Your turn's going to come. Just enjoy the journey.